Hello and welcome to the most excellent 80s movies podcast. It's the podcast where a filmmaker, a comedian, and their fabulous guests just relentlessly pursue the 80s movies we think we love or might have missed. It's the podcast that does not bleed, so you cannot kill it. And today we are watching Predator, a movie selection from 1987.
We're a rescue team, not assassins. Now, what do we gotta do?
In a part of the world where there are no rules.
We pick up their trailer at the chopper, run them down, grab those hostages before anybody knows we were there. What do you mean we?
Deep in the jungle, where nothing that lives is safe.
You lose it here, you're in a world of hurt.
Showtime, kid.
Knock, knock.
An elite rescue squad
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
is being led by the ultimate warrior.
We need the best. That's why you're here.
But now,
What's got Billy so spooked?
there's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man. They're up against the ultimate enemy.
Holy mother of God.
Nothing like it has ever been on Earth before.
She says the jungle just came alive and took him.
We cannot see it.
No blood, no bodies. We had nothing.
But it sees the heat of our bodies and the heat of our fear.
Whatever it is out there, killed Hopper. And now it wants us.
It kills for pleasure.
He was skinned alive.
It hunts for sport.
He's killing us one at a time. We're all gonna die.
But this time, it's picked the wrong man to hunt.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
20th Century Fox presents Arnold Schwarzenegger. Predator. The hunt begins Friday, June 12th at theaters everywhere.
Showtime, kid.
They were really taking their time on that one, weren't they?
Yeah, the trailers just keep getting longer and longer, I feel like.
The more we do our show, the longer trailers we like to add.
Yeah, exactly. So that voice is filmmaker Nathan Blackwell.
Oh, hi there. Thank you. And then that voice that you hear over there is Krissy Lenz?
Yes.
Am I pronouncing that right?
You are.
I'm so embarrassed. We've known each other for years. I've never said it out loud.
It's Conan is how you pronounce it.
Okay, thank you.
And with us today is our very first ever guest we discovered back again. It's Adam Rini. Hello.
Hello, back again for the third time.
Hey.
I'm happy to be here.
Actor, performer extraordinaire.
Yes, and star of the soon-to-be smash hit last movie ever made. How's that going, Nathan?
Good. Still in the post-production process. I've cut the whole feature film together now. It's still.
You have an assembly cut ready?
Yes, I do, but it's
Whoa.
definitely it not in a shape that anyone but me can watch it, because there's some stuff that's just missing that I just have like quick pop-up text, like temp text there that I need to kind of fill in. Even some like voiceover that's missing from the voice that I need to pop in. I basically just had to kind of make for the home base and finish her up, even though there's some rough spots, and which I'm going to be doing this week and kind of patching it up so people can look at it. But it's like at 94 minutes. So
That's awesome.
exciting. Yeah.
Oddly enough, there are some parallels to the to that movie and Predator. Mhm.
Oh, do tell.
You know, they go deep in a thematic way. Like Predator in the movie, it's like everything about it is the discount version. It's like, okay, we're going to do an army story. Oh, where are we going to do it? Somewhere we're not allowed to do it. All right. And who's going to do it? A major. Like, Just a major? Yep. And a 2-star general is going to tell him to do it. Okay. But he's like, the best ever. Well, kind of. There's also just a CIA guy who has to go too. And then when they get there, it's like, oh, we already failed the mission. Like as soon as we get there, it's already all the hostages are dead.
So we're really building up both stories at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like the main character, who I am, is really that kind of a person. A real second-rate guy. Until the universe intercedes, and then you have to,
it totally jumps genre into something totally crazy, and then it's a fight to the death.
That's right. Our movie, a
lot more people die in our movie actually than in Predator.
Which is, I was not expecting that. That was a real surprise to me.
Yeah.
How many violent deaths there are in the last movie ever made.
I wouldn't call them violent. Boy, this is so inside baseball. I'm sorry.
It's true.
Yes.
So usually we ask, have you seen the movie before? But I think the more appropriate question is, how many times have you seen this movie? Just in Adam describing it to me just now, things made sense that I had never realized. I was like,
it's such an interesting movie. Yeah,
he's in the CIA.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you've been pushing too many pencils.
Yeah, there's I've seen this movie in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 times. Or if you had to count specific sequences, like the "we hit nothing" sequence, I've probably seen that 30 times. Just rewinding that one section, as a kid.
Of just the hail of bullets.
Yeah.
The sound of that machine gun spinning.
There is for sure a ton of things that I caught for the first time this time around, or didn't even catch when Adam just described it, because it's so unimportant. The whole CIA Black Ops mission that goes wrong, it's just your eye is not on that. You just don't care, and the movie doesn't care, especially once things start happening.
If there's not that 10-second scene of a spaceship at the beginning, there is no indication that is what this movie is.
Yeah, I feel like that was even something that they consciously put up front, so you knew that there was a promise that this movie is gonna. It's like just listening to the trailer, you had no idea what kind of movie you were gonna see,
Yeah.
And so they had to make a promise that this was going to take a sharp turn, because really the whole movie very much for the first 40 minutes is like a commando kind of movie of
a commando movie of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they use it for effect when the best of the best start getting picked off by a sci-fi creature, and they're like,
can you imagine this exact same movie but with the A-Team instead? Schwarzenegger's crew.
What other so just as a thought experiment, what other movies could pull off taking a sharp left turn of genre, like this does? If it started off as horror and then went into romantic comedy with no more horror. What else?
I think you just described Zombieland.
Right.
Oh yeah. It's certainly not common, and that's why the whole beginning part of this movie is so forgettable. And
how dare you?
That was some of Carl Weathers' best work.
Okay.
Every scene is iconic in this film. When they're in that helicopter.
Which time?
In the beginning.
They're constantly in a helicopter.
They land once in a helicopter, then they get in the helicopter on the way in, where you get to meet the personality of the team. And all of them get to reject the toxic masculinity of
Jesse Ventura,
which we later find out is just a coping mechanism for his secret gay relationship with Mac.
See, Adam, you have such a deeper understanding of this movie than I could ever hope to achieve.
Right. So to answer the question, about 80, 90 times I've seen this movie.
Yeah. I was guessing. Yeah.
It's so good.
did really love the moment when Dutch, who is Arnold Schwarzenegger, bumps into his friend Carl Weathers, whose name I cannot recall. They meet each other, and instead of like shaking hands, they'd like do an air arm wrestle.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And you just see so much of their biceps.
You see so much veins. So many veins.
It's like a quadruple layer high status, low status play. Like who's doing what? Who's boss, but who's really who's boss, you know? And who's the daddy in this relationship? Trying to figure out who the daddy is. We both think we're the daddy.
But someone's the other daddy.
Mm-hmm. Someone's the shy uncle.
You just know that there was so much testosterone and competitiveness on this set. You know, you just know
having Jesse Ventura there.
Which, by the way, is like there's one of two governors in this movie. There are two eventual governors of not insignificantly sized states in this movie.
There's a third governor.
Did he win? I thought he didn't win. I thought he just
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but there was a possibility that there were more governors on that mission than regular people.
Right. So I'm going to try to recap the story that I don't fully understand. So Arnold Schwarzenegger and his band of merry heroes are not, they're like a rescue team. Okay. Is that true? Are they really a rescue team?
We are not assassins.
They don't just go in to kill. They're happy to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. You cannot stop them.
What we do best. But we're not, we're not bloodthirsty monsters. We do it to save something.
As long as whatever it is that we're saving is the thing that we have been paid to save.
They get so offended when they've been manipulated into being assassins. When their first response to everything is to fire 1,000 guns at it.
Oh, so many guns. Guns that shoot guns.
You know, not to
shoot smaller guns.
To skip ahead, when they get to the small little village and where all the terrorist bad guys are, and it's just the most extreme, excessive, amazing like action sequence of just indiscriminate firing. There's a part where it's like any sign of the other hostage, and he's like, no, he's dead. He's been killed by 1,000 bullets and 10 pounds of exploding debris.
Yeah, they go in immediately and just like mop the floor with any living thing. And then at the end, he comes back and he says, they got the other hostage, too.
He's dead. He throws a car at them. He rolls a car.
Oh, yeah. There's a guy with a semi-auto grenade launcher who is just lobbing it into the village. And then you've got Jesse Ventura with the minigun just spraying and hosing down and destroying like all like life forms and trees in a quarter square mile.
Which is a bummer because his friend Billy seems to like the trees. He drinks it out of a tree and he climbs a tree and he seems like he's really in tune with the nature that they are shooting at far more often than they are shooting at people. But like, I know it's not really important, but I don't understand in any way whatsoever what they were supposed to be doing and what went wrong. And what piece of the puzzle is Carl Weathers betraying them?
Adam, can you mansplain this for us?
Yeah, well, there's a lot. There's a lot to mansplain here. So, when they go in to the helicopter to go to their mission, they play their loud music. They fly their airplanes or their
and one guy shaves his
all wiggly,
face.
Always shaving. The one guy tells. Like the skinny guy who has quick reaction speed, because you can tell because the way he caught that box of matches and says terrible jokes. His
jokes are all about his wife's pussy and how in its relative size.
He's working on his type 5.
Yeah.
There is so much of this movie that is a metaphor for insecurity, male insecurity.
Yeah.
For one, he's making jokes where the punchline is essentially my penis is small.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not willing to laugh at it.
No,
that's not funny to have a small.
They're like, You're being misogynistic, and we wanted to stop. That's my Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're gonna hear.
Mhm.
You're gonna hear it from time to time.
Let's focus on the
Adam's
mission.
is better.
So they're going in to rescue a diplomat who got kidnapped because their plane went off course, and now this diplomat is a CIA asset. If they're trying to stabilize the region, he's a big part of their plan moving forward. So Carl Weathers is like, we've got to save this guy. We got to get this guy back, and I needed the best darn team, and wouldn't you know it, your guys are just the best.
Mhm. And they say, "Yay, we love rescuing."
We go into rescue. And then when they go into rescue, they find that there was another team that had gone in before them.
Mhm.
And they were butchered.
That's what that destroyed helicopter was.
Oh, and those are the guys he finds in the tree.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and Arnold is like, "Well, who's this other? Who are these other? Wait, we were invited second. We were your second pick.
What else about this aren't you telling me? You're already lying. What is the scale of this?" And he's like, "Nope, I don't know anything about them. I had no idea they were here. It's news to me."
But it wasn't news to him.
No.
In truth,
He already sent in.
You knew those guys.
So did he have the same kind of like fond relationship with them and the air arm wrestling?
Maybe fonder. Who? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
They did like that man hug where you like hit each other on the back really hard, which is the next step up, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jim Hopper, who by the way is also the name of the sheriff on Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yeah. Wait,
Really
which
the
one
same
is
name.
Jim Hopper? Carl Weathers?
No, the skinned, flayed man.
Oh, that's Jim Hopper.
Mhm.
Yes.
The man they discover who's been skinned.
Okay. But who is the girl that they...
This is the only part that I don't understand. Why do they bring her? So they go in,
Yeah.
they discover the hostages are already dead. Carl Weathers is very excited because he's getting all of this, like, military spoils of war.
I love this intel. This intel's great.
Great. This really helps the CIA. Thanks, guys. You destroyed this outpost so we could get all this great CIA data. Haha, I used you guys. I'm CIA. No, we do missions. We do rescue missions, not this. And he's like, gotcha. So that's why they were mad at him.
Okay. He does say that his men are not expendable, and I'm guessing that that's why we have all of those movies called Expendables.
That's such a my men are not expendable. That is not the CIA way of thinking,
In every 80s action movie, probably onto the 90s, the CIA treats everyone as expendable.
They're all numbers. So that was Carl Weathers. And then, his journey is he has to regain his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay. So, this is so much information that you're giving me right now, Adam. And, all I got from this movie, which, by the way, I have seen at least 20 times. I have to.
It's a layer. It's a layer cake. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, there's so much shooting, and there's just so much bicep. And
and everything we've just told you is completely unimportant to enjoying the movie, which is why we never remember it or even are aware of it.
Or even think about it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
People remember the helicopter ride because the loud music and Jesse Ventura hits his only lines. And then other than that, there's nothing really until Jesse Ventura dies. That's the moment where it turns into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like 40 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but there is this fun, you're like, oh, there are so many fun members of the team, but we've named the only ones that have any significance. So there's Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's the skinny guy who's upset with his wife and her pussy.
Mm-hmm.
There's Jesse the body, Ventura the governor. There is Billy the Native American ? Who is their tracker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's basically their Navi.
Yes.
And then there's 8 other guys. There's the one who's always shaving his face.
That's that's the one other
two
guy.
other guys. Yeah, that's Mac, right? Played by Bill
Mac,
Duke,
who, by the way, is the only guy on the team who's you can tell is fully out of shape.
He's the one guy playing volleyball in a sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
But also in fairness, he can act.
right. He was the only actor.
Right. Yeah. The guy with the glasses is Shane
Screenwriter.
Black. Yes, the screenwriter and eventual director Shane Black, who wrote Lethal Weapon and directed like Iron Man 3 and The Nice Guys and things like that.
And then there's the guy with the rocket launcher or the grenade launcher.
Yeah, the
Oh.
grenade launcher who can also speak Spanish.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was his character trait. He knows how to yell mujer.
Okay. So there is a cool part which I was a bit confused about where Carl Weathers has a scorpion on his shoulder. You think that Billy is going to like stab him.
No, Mac. It's Mac.
Oh, it's Mac. Okay.
And it's after he already threatened him, saying, if you give away our position again one more time, I'm going to bleed you out here.
Yeah, Mac's got a screw loose, which is a great character trait.
Okay. If you
Mac
say
had
so,
already
I
threatened
didn't
his
notice.
life.
And so he stabs the little scorpion off of his shoulder, and then the predator's like, "Oh, it was so cute. Why did you kill the scorpion?" He's like upset.
I know why. I can tell you why.
Okay, please, Adam. This podcast is about you telling me what's happening in this movie.
Right.
Tell me.
That's a very interesting anthropomorphism of the predator. It's like, oh, he was so cute. Why did he kill him? I feel like you're the only one to take that one away.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know that he was like thinking, oh, maybe there's a chance I can nurse him back to health. This baby scorpion. He was,
You know what I really liked is that the predator had all these like, besides all these like human skulls, he had all these little animal skulls on his belt.
yeah,
Like
he'd been eating squirrels.
this was the deadliest squirrel I ever fought. You know, this capybara was the bravest of his kind.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like a scorpion is the perfect metaphor for the predator. A scorpion is a ambush predator. It lays in wait until it has you exactly where it wants you, and then it, instead of a laser on his shoulder, it just fills you with poison and you die.
Oh, they also have like their blood under a black light. It glows too.
They glow under a backlight, which is crazy.
Correct.
And it's like, okay, so that's a fun way to show what his helmet is doing. It can see it like a black light. And
Yeah.
so his helmet's out here doing this. And it's also like, scorpions are stupid. They are like really dumb, inefficient animals. However, like the 2-3 things it has, that's plenty. That's enough to kill a ton of things.
Yeah.
Just like the predator, it's kind of slow. It can't really see very well. But it's like, I could go invisible and I got a gun.
Yeah, and you don't want to find one in your bed.
That's all it takes to be a predator.
That's all it takes to beat us.
Well, that was very deep and meaningful thoughts about that moment. We do get to see the Predator's point of view, which I always enjoy, much like the Terminator's point of view. I like seeing what the Predator sees.
Yeah, villain vision was fantastic in the 80s. It was a great novelty.
We need
It
to
actually
bring that
holds up.
back.
Yeah.
I want more of that
Mhm.
these days.
Okay, let me write this down.
But the Predator does get injured when they decide to shoot the entire jungle, and like even though they say they hit nothing, like they killed some wildlife, they killed some part of that delicate ecosystem, and they like winged him or whatever, and he's got his little like first aid kit, and we get to see like a little bit of his like all of this, like in addition to the animal skulls and the different things on his like uniform, we get to see like, oh, ew, he's got green like lizardy skin and gross green blood
That glows,
that
just like the
glows.
scorpion.
And like everybody's starting to freak out at this point. They're all upset. They're like, now we're lost in a jungle. This thing is skinning people. What are we gonna do? They get attacked by a boar.
And they also they drag the dead body with them everywhere they go in the body bag.
Wait,
Jesse
what?
Ventura. They drag Jesse Ventura's body in the body bag with them while they're
They
trying
do?
to leave the area. Yes, they do. And then Mac unzips it and then like has a romantic soliloquy to him.
I don't think that was in the version I watched.
And you can see, like, that's the moment you realize, oh, these guys were more than buddies.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I wrote Captain Scorp is sad.
And that's why Mac goes nuts, because the Predator killed his wife.
Yeah. And he never said anything mean about his wife's pussy. So they decide to make a stand, right? They're like, there's something out here. We all agree at this point that it is something very weird, but if it bleeds, we can kill it. And they start setting up one of, not the only montage of booby traps, but one of several montage of booby traps.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to like make a stand. And so at this point, I tried to make a list of the people who were still alive. So there was Captain Carl Weathers, Dutch, Captain Anna. Anna is the girl's name. Billy.
Right. Why did she go with them?
Why did she go with them? And at this point, she's stuck.
There were a lot of people in that camp. She's just one of the people in the camp.
The one survivor.
And then Captain Scorpion is there, and then a fifth guy.
The guy who speaks Spanish.
Yeah,
yes.
The grenade launcher guy.
Captain Rando is what I have designated him. This is the get to the choppah moment.
Yeah, this is the movie that has get to the chopper.
How many hours into this movie are we at this point?
It depends. You're talking about things that are about 40 minutes apart.
They go crazy. So the Predator is attacking them. They are trying to fight back. It is not working. And
a little bit it worked. They all just like stared at him instead of shooting when they had him in the net. But they had him in the net for like 3-4 seconds.
Yeah, this movie does a great job of taking the kind of action movie where this is like Aliens, where you build up the heroes so much. Oh, they've got a tank, they've got all these machine guns, they've got all this.
I wouldn't want to be on the other end of these guys.
High-powered everything, like there is nothing that can contest them, and then they just get slaughtered.
Yeah, they get
and
routed.
So they're on the back heels for the rest of the movie, and so the tables turn.
But at various times during the movie, a different person is like, "You go, I'm gonna make a stand." Like the Scorpion guy does that and goes complete kersplooey, and then shortly after that,
he probably had a good plan.
Yeah, it's true. They all thought they had great plans.
And then he made up with Carl Weathers.
Yeah,
so that was nice for them.
But then Carl Weathers is like, "Now it's my turn. I got this."
I see him.
Oh, he went kersplooey.
He didn't know Mac was dead at that point because he was going around in a circle to try to flank him. And then as soon as he saw Mac was dead, he's like, "Oh, cool. So our plan that doesn't work. The thing that we were going to do, that's out the window. I got to look for moving canopy and just fire my guns. I don't know. I got a 1% shot here."
I mean, it's better than nothing, right? And he gets his arm.
He has to roll a natural 20 to hit him.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He needs a nat 20. No, he critically fails.
And he gets his arm blown off.
And it keeps firing. His arm has the spirit.
Yeah.
Like the trigger finger is still going.
I thought he was going to pick up the arm and start shooting with the arm, like just slapping the arm around and still
like he
shooting.
Grabs the arm in his teeth. Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting that to happen.
And ever the CIA guy, when his arm falls off, instead of turning directly to him, he spins all the way around, giving the Predator more time to aim.
But so after that, then Billy is like, "Okay, my turn, guys. You keep walking over this bridge. I'm going to take off all my clothes, cut my own self, and then immediately die without even having the dignity to do it on screen."
He died of an infection.
Do we know that he died?
Well, we see his skull get ripped out of his head.
That's
Don't
right.
we?
Was that
No,
that was Shane Black's skull, wasn't it?
Oh, I just assumed it was Billy.
Oh. It could be Bill. I could be wrong.
The problem with assumptions,
It's true. Somebody gets their whole skull and spine ripped out for
Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah. For a crafting project of what the Predator's, the second leg of his journey home is when he like does crafty things with all the trophies of the people that he has bested.
Well, yeah, he's got to have multiple hobbies. He's obviously on
It
vacation.
makes me wonder, like, what do the predators value in their trophies? It's like he's not taking the brain, he's not taking the skin, he's not taking like any of the things that make you human. It's like, oh no, I just like the little hard part in the middle.
Yeah, the hard part in the
I
middle.
just want that little hard part in the middle. That's the only part.
Well, and you want to think like, what would a predator's culture like find fascinating about the human trophies? Like we humans take from animals the teeth, the claws, the like.
We mount a head.
Yeah, with this, it failed to kill me. So it would make sense if it was like he took the hands, he took the guns, he took the teeth.
He didn't even take the dog tags.
No, he should have taken the biceps and been like, "Look at these fucking biceps, and I killed these guys."
For all those biceps.
I feel like we're making a lot of cultural assumptions. It might just be this one asshole who does this, and not his whole species.
I mean, he just might be some dick who crashed his car.
Like he's the predator equivalent of the guy who owns Jimmy John's, who we all hate for like killing elephants. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's like if you notice
he's
at the beginning,
dentist who shot Cecil the Lion. That's the movie we're watching. Yeah. It's that guy.
At the beginning of the movie, we see a spaceship like fly by, and it shoots a pod, and the spaceship keeps going, and the pod comes down. So either that, like his spaceship has like a little shuttlecraft that disengages, or he totally got here like via a ride share,
or he got kicked out. They're like, you have been hell on this trip. I'm dropping you off the next planet.
The equivalent of leaving someone behind at a rest stop on a family trip to Disneyland.
It was his parents.
So we get does he say get to the choppah twice? Because I wrote it down twice.
So they were talking about being able to get to a chopper, but then the chopper said, no, we can't come.
I wrote down get your ass to Mars. Is that not this one?
Yeah, it's in there. And when his eyes get really big, and that's how you can see the predator.
I don't know what you're talking about. So,
Paul
but he falls into a waterfall. Arnold Schwarzenegger does at this point. Everyone else is dead except for him and Anna.
So again, this is kind of
who is just like she can just go back home now if she wants.
She should. She should.
Right. She walk. We see her walk like 500 feet, and there's like a road, and then she gets a bus.
Oh, what a day! What a day I've had.
Yeah. So there's kind of like 3 chapters in this movie. You've got them being the macho badasses at the beginning, and then the predator arrives and starts picking them off and becomes a sci-fi kind of horror film. But then at the end, in the last act, we have Arnold. It's a one-on-one, Arnold versus the predator, and it kind of turns into one of those survival scenarios to where he's like building booby traps and creating improvised weapons and covering himself in war paint.
Which arguably, how long does that take? Like he tumbles down a waterfall. He's like, oh, if I'm muddy, he can't see me. So I'm going to take what? A day, 12 hours? Is it 15 minutes? He sets up very elaborate, they're like based on entire trees swinging around. So even just to like whittle one stick would take hours.
Yeah. It's at least 3 days, right?
Okay. I believe 3 days. So this also could have taken
it's impossible.
15 minutes.
Right. We have to factor in the plausibility. Yes.
He builds a bow and arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just supposed to be one night.
He somehow drags a tree up another tree.
Which I believe, based on those biceps, I believe that he could.
Right.
But,
but can the vines hold the tree? How does that even work? You got to like weave it together and stuff. How much time did he spend weaving?
And where did he learn to weave? Who taught him to weave? He
Now they're
seems
just
at this
braiding.
point very well rounded as a person.
Mhm.
And, you know, I was just like seeing it with, as he's like very muddy, just like, oh, his skin is going to be so supple.
Mhm.
Like, he's just the work he's doing on his pores right now.
Yeah, it's part of his normal routine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called self-care, and the best of us do it.
I do. I try to stick to my regiment of like of putting a tree inside another tree on top of a different tree and building some kind of primitive weapon you know, every day.
Doing a double trap and then taking a perfectly good grenade and turning it into a spear grenade.
Yeah, you know, honestly I'm lucky if I get to it once a week.
Mhm.
These modern times we live in.
Yeah.
Something happens to the predator that makes his camouflage inoperable.
He is damaged.
He fell down the waterfall.
Yeah. First, his cloaking is damaged. It's all technology, you know, like none of the camouflage and the thermal vision, none of it is natural to his species.
Mhm.
It's their tech. Yeah.
His vision is trash.
Yeah, it's total trash. I mean,
Once he takes off the helmet, it's like, oh man, is
it's
this what
red on
cataract
red.
is?
And he's very cross-eyed. Like once we see the
Yeah.
predator's face, he's very cross-eyed. Like his eyes are too close together. He's obviously like what does Arnold Schwarzenegger call him? An
One
ugly motherfucker.
ugly
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Mhm.
But I also I don't like the way the predator or any creature that is based on a predator, like a sideways mouth, I don't enjoy. I find that very scary for some reason. The sideways mouths. The vampires in like the Blade series, their mouths open like
okay.
that. Ugh.
Oh, that's, and like the Demogorgon,
Yeah, I don't like
mouth
it.
folds open. Yeah, that's creepy.
You know, they tap right into what scares you and being like, oh, yeah, it's scary. It looks like a lizard, but also the mouth opens wrong and there's teeth at the edges. Wow.
He's a lizard and he's a crab and he's a bug and he's a Rastafarian. And he's kind of into the fishnet thing.
He's culturally appropriating it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, he's going from planet to planet, stealing and
One of
appropriating.
his many crimes. Yeah.
Like he would slay on RuPaul's Drag Race in that getup.
I mean, yeah, he's really living his best life. So there's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's hiding under a log. He's doing the old toss a rock trick.
Yeah,
It still works.
It works.
classic
I mean,
hijinks.
yeah, you don't mess with what works. And like things start to get really artsy kind of in the filmmakery realm at this point. And I guess, you know, they can't get actory. They can't get actory because
You
it's
don't have
Arnold
an actor.
Schwarzenegger and a puppet. So they get filmmakery.
Puppet, yeah.
And some of the shots in that like ending hour of the movie are quite nice. Any thoughts on that, Nathan?
Yes, I concur.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, every shot is motivated.
Yeah, it's fun at the end because you basically now have like a silent movie. You have a silent action movie to where there's very little. It's like, you know, they're
On
not
the
gonna,
eyes. It's on the
One
eyes.
moment that should have been silent where who is he talking to when he says, you didn't see me? He's alone trying to hide. Why are you talking out loud?
He can't see me. Oh shit!
Fuck, he can hear me though.
You can hear me. He's not used to being alone. He's used to having his crew, you know. He's used to having his squad, and he's like all on his own now.
Mm-hmm.
But the girl is still alive at this point, or did she run away? Where did she go?
She is MIA.
Okay.
I assumed she either died or she just went home.
Yeah, she was just like, bye.
I was already here before you guys got here. I'm fine.
I'm fine. But the predator, like, they come to a point where he like takes off his helmet and disconnects his shoulder cannon and seems to say, let's just duke it out, bro. Let's just have the predator to human equivalent of that arm wrestle thing from the beginning And as I think Adam said, who is the daddy in this
It's a
situation?
beautiful metaphor for impotence.
Mhm.
We see this whole we watch this whole like music video of manliness setting traps, and now like the most muscular Mr. Universe is gonna fist fight this. He can't. He can't do anything. None of his punches work. Oh no! It's that thing that we worshipped is nothing. My biceps, it's nothing.
It made me think of like Princess Bride, where he's like, "My way is sportsmanlike." No, nothing. Okay.
I'm just trying to remember who said
Fezzik is like he doesn't want to have an unfair fight. He wants it to be sportsmanlike.
So I was imagining the guy lying in the bed pretending he could get up and fight, which was basically the
It's kind of
equivalent
that,
of
too.
what kind of a match
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger was.
Yeah. They're just punchy, swat, and it's like, come on, kill me. Get me
down.
I'm here.
Yeah. And it turns out if it bleeds, we can squish it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just
how
he,
like the scorpion.
Yep. He squishes it with a tree that he put in a different tree.
After all the weaving.
And the crafting. And then it's like, what the hell are you? And the predator, like, not to be, defeated in any way, is like, oh, well, surprise, surprise. I'm going to blow you up with my arm cannon.
Mm-hmm.
It's built-in self-destruct.
Mm-hmm. They don't do cyanide pills. They do bombs.
Yeah, because then you get to take someone with you.
And there's no evidence that you were there.
And then he does finally get to the choppah. And that's it. That's the predator. The first of many.
Chopper?
Who?
The girl was in there. Yeah.
She was? Oh, so
yes.
She rescued him?
Why? Why did the chopper pick her up? She has no affiliation with anyone.
I thought we saw her again, but I couldn't remember. I'm telling you, I watched this movie.
Nobody knew she was with them.
Moments ago. I don't remember any of this.
Also, the pilot is the actor who plays the predator.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I'm so glad that you have facts, because I have no facts about this movie except for that it was inspired by a joke about Rocky and like, oh, Rocky's already fought everybody on Earth. I guess he'll have to fight someone from outer space. And then they were like, hey, you're on to something. 8 rails of coke later, the predator was born.
So there's an interesting I'm sure a lot of people already know this, but so they originally had a different design for the predator that they actually started to shoot with and then scrapped.
I do not know this. Tell it to me.
So I just sent it to both of you, the image. This is actually this is a toy based off of the original design.
It looks like an ant.
Yeah, it's a Power Ranger villain.
Yeah, and so the stuntman inside this was Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he basically kept passing out because of the suit. And they fired him, and they just decided to scrap the whole look. It wasn't working, and then that's when they went with the brand new Predator look, all during production.
Then they were like, you know what would be great if we can't see him at all until the last few seconds.
Yeah.
How about he's invisible?
We need to give the costume people some time to redo this whole thing.
Yeah, that would be amazing if it, because you look at the design and he's very like tribal. He's very like, I'm going to hunt these people in the jungle. There's not much tech on him at all. You know,
it does look like something they would design on that show Face Off.
Yeah.
And so then what happened? Like Jean-Claude Van Damme like fell out of the suit, and they were like, "Wait a minute, this guy's hot."
I don't know.
And then he's like, yeah, you like that? Watch me do these splits. And then
I think he was unhappy. I think he just kept passing, like literally just kept passing out.
I meant like physically he's hot. Like he came out of there and they were like, oh, he's this man is also a beautiful man. Let's put him
I know
in.
what happened. he did the splits, like you said.
Mhm.
8 rails of coke later, Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. That's what I'm saying. They're like, why are we wasting this gorgeous foreign man? If one gorgeous foreign man with all the biceps can get some work done, let's get them all out here.
They had so much trouble having the Predator do splits. I think Jean-Claude didn't want to do it because we couldn't see his ass if he was dressed up as the Predator.
It's true. What you don't see is the back of that costume, which is assless.
Yes.
It was
Until
like,
you buy the action figure.
Right. And then he does the splits.
and then it's a real shock. But we do learn, like, right later in the like Predator, like all of the other movies, that it is like it's their rite of passage, right? That they send their youths to, because they go fight aliens.
Yeah, but this is
Xenomorphs.
all. None of this is related to this screenplay.
Yeah.
Right.
This is like Jaws, comparing the canon of Jaws with Jaws 4. It's like you can make an argument that none of that exists if you don't like those movies.
Okay.
You know, that's a weird thing. But I mean, I totally buy that, and I'm actually excited that there's a new Predator movie coming out like next month. And
Well, I thought it was like a TV series.
It's called
No.
Prey.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a limited thing or if it's a movie. I think it's a movie. It looks legit, and it's by Dan Trachtenberg, who did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, I liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I'm very curious because there's been so many times I've been patiently excited for a Predator thing, and then
Yeah.
They're so bad. They cannot. It's
like they get so bad that you're like, oh my god, the first PG-13 Alien vs Predator is that the second best Predator?
There's one that has Keegan-Michael Key in it. I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Was that Predators?
I remember nothing at all
Still
about
never
it
saw that.
whatsoever.
Let's see.
I remember nothing.
And there's the one with Adrian Brody.
There
Right.
is. Nope. I never even heard of that. I have.
Yeah, with Topher Grace.
Nope.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Predators. Predating.
Predatation.
What was the prequel? Pre-Predator? Pre-Predator? Predator?
So is this like your favorite movie, Adam? How does this rank in terms
This
of
movie is
It's comfort food, right?
this movie is woven into my soul because it is the first rated R movie I ever saw.
Oh.
yeah.
And I
Very
saw
nice.
it. I may have told this story once before, but it's like one of the formative moments of my life. I think 8 years old, and my dad had rented Predator to watch after we went to bed. And I didn't see the beginning. I came in during the big gunfight, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I'm sneaking up, and I realize if I sit on the couch against the wall, he can't see me, but I can see the TV through a mirror on the other wall.
Oh
This is
my.
perfect. And I'd never seen the trailer. I didn't know anything about it. So I went in thinking, oh, cool, an army movie. And then the Predator shows up and blows off Carl Weathers' arm. That image was like burned into me. Like when I would go to sleep at night and have nightmares, it would be about my arm falling off.
It's so gross. Like I would see like the upside down like skinned men, and at the bottom of the jungle is just a pile of intestines.
It's just mush.
But
So I sat there and I watched the whole thing.
But backwards and in a mirror. Wow.
Backwards in a mirror.
Wow.
This is what adults watch. This is what I'm doing right now is very grown up. This is a grown up moment for me.
Yeah.
So you were when you eventually saw it normally, were you surprised that people weren't running right to left? They were running left to right now because you were watching it in a mirror?
No, that didn't surprise me at all.
He was able to fourth dimensionally flip that in his mind.
The thing that I was most surprised about when I saw it again, when I didn't see it again for like, I don't know, 8-9 years, probably when I was a teenager, And that scene where Carl's Weathers' arm falls off, it was 100% what I remembered. Like, I did not change it. Like, it did not change at all from when I first saw it. It was the exact memory. I was like, damn.
So then on a scale of 1 to 10, like how do you rank this? If it was 1 Carl Weathers arm,
Carl's Weathers is the plural.
Isn't it Carl's Weather?
Carl's Weathers arm.
No, it's like attorneys general.
Mm-hmm. Carl's Weather.
From one arm to being the worst, because that's the a real shock to lose, to 10 Carl Weathers arms, which would be a bounty to find. Where does this fall?
That would be a very unusual scene. Yes.
We've had them tested. They're all Carl Weathers'.
It's Carl's Weathers.
Right. I'm so sorry. I always get that wrong. Oh.
I want to say, and this is I'm going to have to say 30 because
okay.
It was a 10.
Wait, did you get our points too?
When I was 8 years old, it was a 10. And then when I watched it again, when I was 16, I was like, this is actually a good movie. Look at this.
It was a 20.
Yeah. And then me watching it again and realizing all of the homoerotic overtones.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this movie's even better than when I thought it was a 10 before.
It became a 30. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been accumulating.
All made it a 10 for 3 different reasons.
Oh boy. Wow.
It's like that movie Vertigo. It keeps getting better every time you watch it.
Yeah.
I don't care for Vertigo.
Well, you've got to watch it one more time then. You'll care for it. If you thought it was a 2, it'll be a 4.
I had to watch it like 1,000 times to get.
And then it becomes a 30. Oh, what about for you, Nathan?
I feel like 30 violates our system, but I'll allow it.
Violated your system all the 3 times I was on. I apologize, but it's my truth. And
and shame on me for trying to change that. Yeah, okay. I get that. I'm going to go with the 8.5. I just feel like it needs to be somewhere between 8 and 8 point. Somewhere in between 8 and 8.6, and I'll go with 8.5.
Why 8.6? Why does it need to be in between 8.6?
I don't know, but that's what I wrote down.
That's
so
that's your gut.
Yeah, that's my gut. I feel like it looks like an 8.5. When I'm looking at it, it's an 8.5. Like,
yeah, they shot some of it on the wrong film stock.
Yeah, probably.
No, they actually.
It was really interesting. It was interesting seeing just like being in post-production on a movie right now, that you are so much more keen to like technical filmmaking things, and there was like a couple of like really obvious like technical filmmaking stuff that I've just never noticed before, and that gives me a bit of solace that I can make those same mistakes and it doesn't hang anyone up, like anyways, I'll get into it later. 8.5.
Wait, what are you saying? They shot some of it on the wrong film stock?
They did. That was a big problem in post-production, and it was another big problem when they were trying to up-res it to Blu-ray, because some of it was such low quality.
Oh yeah, like there's a scene where you can tell they're using the last remaining amount of light, where Schwarzenegger is up in a tree and Bill Duke is at the bottom, and they're talking to each other, and it's practically black. It's so dark, it's so greeny, and then Bill Duke goes away to then unzip Jesse Ventura, and it's full on daytime. It is completely day.
Yes, I did wonder that. I was like, wait a minute. That's part of when I was like, how long has it been? Because it was night and now it's day.
And you can get away with that because of the canopy, and also people just don't entirely care. Like, they notice it bumps, and then they quickly expunge it from their memory. Like, it doesn't matter.
You're just wrapped up in what is he whispering to this dead guy with an open rib cage. What?
Yeah, I gotta say, like, great. I've seen this movie so many times, and I have no fucking clue what happens in any of it, except for like the 3 moments that I remember, which are like the scorpion, the choppah, the squishing, and like none of the geopolitical 007-ness of it is,
Yeah.
it's all wasted on me. It's not necessary. Just drop them in the jungle. I don't need a reason why they're
If
there.
you want to watch it through my eyes, you need
A large
marijuana.
mirror. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Adam, do you think there's any chance that one of your impressionable children was like watching in a mirror at some point while you were rewatching this?
I was hoping they were. My daughter is 7, so it was like, oh, this is perfect. She
Yeah.
can watch it in a reflection off of that poster.
The idea of having kids is appealing to me because the idea of like exposing them to some movies way too early, and then that defines them as
Yeah.
people, like it did to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh goodness gracious! So what deep cut recommendations be like?
Did you give it a point?
Oh, did I? I
give
don't
it
think I did. I think Adam took all my points. He took
Oh.
them all.
Oh man, you
Yeah.
took her truth.
My truth is, I can't rate this movie because I can't remember it. I don't.
Well, I think you need marijuana.
Yes,
And
that I'll
Adderall.
remember.
I didn't finish my thought. You need marijuana and Adderall at the same time.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
I
Write
had
it
to
down.
give it like a 7 because
I
it's
think that's high. Like,
Based on your reaction to everything, I
based
do
on the
feel like
movie you
that's high.
described, it sounded like you were describing a 4. So you're being very kind. I appreciate that.
well, the biceps are beautiful, and so what's the word that means veiny?
Vascular?
Yeah,
Vascular.
so vascular.
It's such a vascular
It
film.
really is.
This is a movie about my pumping vascularity.
What a strange press tour.
I like the Predator, and I like in much the same way I enjoy thinking about the Terminator and like how the Terminator would handle situations. I like thinking about the Predator and like what other predators are up to as they like are hanging out places and
When they're not predating.
yeah. What does that Predator's dad think about?
What's their jobs?
Yeah.
What is the rest of Predator culture? Like we're only seeing like the awful Navy SEAL guys.
Yeah.
I feel like we're only seeing them on vacation.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
And this is just this guy's he's just like a weekend warrior type. Like there are plenty of Predator improv groups that we don't get to like see and explore that much of.
Like if Deers made a movie about a hunter who comes and takes them all out, you know?
Yeah.
Like in them trying to figure out what human beings are like.
Oh, that's a beautiful thought.
I think that's an animated film. Yeah. Dang it, I should have. Yeah.
Should have
I've got
saved it.
treatment.
Should have saved it.
We remake Predator as an animated film with a human hunter and deers on a rescue mission.
Yes, but it's really geopolitical.
We can't see him. Yeah, he's like wearing basic camouflage.
He's up in a tree thing. Yeah, I love it. So what recommendation would you have, a deeper cut than like Aliens or any of the other Predators movies?
Yeah.
Based on what?
That's a good one. I feel like the only recommendation I can give is Predator the musical.
Is that a thing?
It's using the trees, watching and waiting, killing us off one by one.
I mean, it's nice that they got Fozzie to do the voice.
Predator the musical on the internet. It's only 3.5 minutes.
I love it. And I love that the chorus is, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
The voices are so good. They sound so much like the actors, too.
Yeah, well, it is like there's so much Arnold Schwarzenegger that it's hard to wrap your mind around it. Just how Schwarzenegger-y it is.
Yeah, it's peak Schwartz.
It really is. Like, I was so surprised when we watched the Conan, like how much like blah, wow, 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 like cliche there is, but like he really sounds like that. Like every impersonation
Carl's Weathers
of him is spot on.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
anything, they don't go far enough. So what do you recommend, Adam?
Well, I'm going to recommend a movie that's sort of a spiritual echo of this one. A creature feature with a leading man action hero done by a pretty good director who's definitely overachieving. It's going to be Pitch Black.
Ooh, I love Pitch Black.
And also, like Predator, you can just assume the other movies don't exist.
Right, it's true. It is a standalone thing where everybody overachieved, and it was just a creature genre movie about trying to escape a monster. And it ends with a fist fight between the hero and a monster. It also seems like a crash movie. It seems like a movie about one thing, and then it zags on you the same way Predator does.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be a bad guy, right? And then he's like, surprise, I can save everybody and punch this monster.
Yeah, and this is like, oh, is this a shipwreck movie? We're watching a shipwreck movie in space. Oh no, that's just the first half. It's a monster movie.
It's a real twist. Yeah, that's great. That's also peak Vin Diesel-ness.
Exactly.
Yeah, you really at that point you really don't need to see additional Vin Diesel movies.
No, you've seen it.
You've seen telling me you're not going to recommend Fast Five to anybody who will watch it?
Oh well, okay, you got me there.
Every fast is worth watching. They're all the same, so like it doesn't matter which one it is. So, but they're all worth watching. Yeah, great recommendations. The only thing I could think of was to recommend the show Supernatural. There are many times in the run of the series, the 15 seasons of the show Supernatural, where one of the characters is very afraid of clowns, and his only comforting thought is always, if it bleeds, you can kill it. If it bleeds, you can kill it. So I feel like this movie gave us that like hopeful message, right?
Yeah.
If it bleeds, you can kill it. And I believe that has served humanity well since 1987.
I think you're right. We got I think we should change the way years are numbered. So 1987 will be zero AP, and then everything before it would be BP.
Before Predator, after Predator.
That's right. That's the new. The Gregorian calendar is done.
Yeah, we're done with that. And you
It's a
should just
Predator-based system.
all the months of the year should be named after different people in the squad, right? So like
Mactober,
Schwarzenegger,
Well, yeah,
Dutchuary.
Jesse the Bottom Buddy Ventura.
No, you're right. He was the bottom in that relationship. Jesse the Bottom.
Did I say that? Oh Lord. Okay.
Mac was definitely a top.
Yeah, he was carrying the emotional weight of that partnership. I don't even know what to say at this point.
I think we get in trouble so I just looked this up. So we were just talking about Shane Black, the guy who had the glasses, who kept making the jokes. He directed the movie The Predators later.
Okay.
Keegan-Michael Key, and then a whole bunch of like really famous people.
Yeah, I saw it. I just remember nothing about it. It's like the Predators erase my memory every time I leave one of their films.
It's the active camouflage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a defense mechanism.
It's like Men in Black.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Because I'm like, I think I had
Seems like
fun.
a bad business strategy, but it makes sense to me.
And it makes it infinitely rewatchable.
It's true. It's true. Because I swear to God, every time I see it, I'm like, wait, what? Did you just roll a car into that little house? Like, that seems unfair.
He did. What? Is he falling through? Is he falling through that waterfall out of focus?
He is.
Yeah.
So many waterfalls. So what are you working on?
Someone got in trouble
now, Adam. Like, where can people support you? Should they just wait for Lemem, or what else can people do to find your work?
Yeah, right now, LMM is the big thing. If you're in the Minneapolis area and your computer breaks, you can come see me at work.
Oh, that's fun.
Please don't bring any PCs though.
It would be such a dream come true, though, if someone was like, "I broke my computer on purpose so I could talk to you about Predator."
Finally, someone sees it the way I do.
But soon to be on screens large and small in the last movie ever made, which is great. I'm very excited for it. Nathan, when can we expect that? Is there a timeline? Am I cursing you by asking it?
Well, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. These things have a long timeline because we're looking to finish it in the fall, and then that means that we submit it to film festivals, and so those film festivals are in like the spring and summer. So that means 1 year from now you might see it. And then if it gets picked up by distribution, it still may take like 6 months from once we sign a deal to then when it gets distributed. So, but yeah, I would say the soonest that you can see it will probably be at one of the film festivals that it gets into.
Well, thank you for listening. And, like normally at this point, I would ask you to like and rate and subscribe and review. But if you're going to do it, I think that you need to if this was the episode that made you choose to rate or review us, please
Which is unlikely.
Say something chopper related. Like, let us know. Give us your best Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, but in text as a review. And the most important thing is, of course, to make sure that when you're out there in the world, that you are being excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Party on, dudes.
Party on, Wayne.
And get to that chopper.